Greetings everyone, it is I am the one and only Pac-Man here, and I am from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Sorry, excuse me, I just did that very weird gentleman voice as far as you probably already expected by that point. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, for the Super Nintendo / Super Famicom for those of you who lived in Japan, and for the Game Boy Advance. So, last time we basically managed to able to complete the second palace in the game, which appears to be the Desert Palace, and also we did manage to done quite a lot of exploration by able to actually get ourselves not only Zora's flippers, so that way we now have the ability to swim, but also we managed to upgrade ourselves the the magical boomerang, and recently, by the informs of today's video, is that recently I managed to upgrade my shield, so that way it allows me to able to be protected by not only for other projectiles, but also now fireballs as well. So yeah, that's how I essentially going to be able to actually just to do that. And today, for this video, we're also able to do some little bits and bobs first, before we hit on to the forms of in the third palace in the game. Well, technically speaking, the third dungeon in the game. But, and also we're able to get ourselves the forms of in, the Pendant of Wisdom, or should I say, the Pendant of Power, because obviously the next color we need to aim for is red, so it actually represents power. But before we do all that stuff though, let me just go ahead and, keep on using those rubies, as far as you probably already know, from the likes of, since that we've already paid 500 of those rubies by able to get ourselves Zora's flippers. And whilst in here, as you can see, we ended up on the forms of that particular pond right there. And basically, in order to actually increase our specific amount of items, specifically, let's just say bombs and arrows, in order to actually upgrade your storage for the sake of the forms of that particular the thing itself, Pond of Happiness is what it's called. Basically, we need to feed all sorts of rubies. In this case, the higher capacity you can go ahead and aim for. I think we'll try to aim for 100 in some cases. And before we do all that stuff though, let's place the bomb right here to able to actually let the wall explode. And sure enough, we're able to get, what else? More fairies. So it's a good thing, because I need one after the events of that specific death from the floor titles from the likes of the Desert Palace, so I think we should be good to go for this point. So anyways, as soon as we hit back in here, and sure enough, we're able to actually feed more 20 rupees, so that way it'll pretty much leads us to 100 right now, and basically this fairy appears. And obviously you do have two options here. You can either just manage to increase your bomb count or the arrows count. But for me, I always attempt to go for the bomb amount, because I don't think you're able to actually collect that much of bombs, unlike arrows as far as I'm concerned. But either way though, yeah, we're basically all sorted from now on. But there's also another item we can probably get, and it's by the fact that we need to go underneath that bridge. Well, to be more specifically, almost right near to the actual palace is, so, or the actual Hyrule Castle itself, I should say. So because of that though, we need to swim all the way from here, and then as soon as you're able to come across into that bridge, while trying to avoid a lot of enemies, including Zoras as well, then that way you would able to actually find this area. So if we swim underneath it, basically we're actually stumbling across this man sleeping. I'm presuming he was actually going to be doing some camping and what have you. Anyway, let's see what he has to say. Yo, Pac-Man, you seem to be in a heap of trouble, but this is all I can give you. And this what appears to be another magic bottle. So now we actually got, currently, we've got about 3 bottles total. So I think there was actually a last one coming up, but it's not gonna happen until specifically whenever we get towards the end game. So because of that though, yeah, today's day is of course the 4th of February, in this case in 2022 today. So, obviously, you know what today is. It's the fact that today's day is the opening ceremony for the sake of the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics today. And I'm gonna say that despite the lack of spectators usually becomes a thing, it still looks very impressive, even for the actual showing, for the sake of the forms of the actual opening ceremony. Although, mind you though, because of how the fact that, well, the thing is still going on at the moment. But either way though, let's just not get ahead of ourselves at this point. Although I would like to mention about the forms of several of events, such as for instance, with all these, like, winter sports and stuff like that, but honestly, I think I should probably save that conversation until, let's just say, whenever we get to more parts of this game, specifically on Monday and Wednesday and Fridays, as to be expected by this point. So, anyways, let's carry this little, rock, so that way we can able to actually just, well, for the sake of carrying them. So, and also another thing I want to mention about something as well, that I suppose I forgot to mention about something, and that is the fact that we actually got ourselves quite a number of things as far as news and stuff like that recently. Like, I know for the fact that we've already mentioned about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, I've already mentioned about certain games that I managed to pick up recently, but also originally, I was able to actually originally try to say about the fact that I was going to save Sonic Riders on the original Xbox to able to obtain for it because I'm a die-hard Sonic fan, but I've decided able to actually pick it up anyway, so because of that though, and hopefully I'm also able to get my chance on both versions of the original Sonic Riders to see if I can compare those to the original GameCube version, or should I say, the superior GameCube version. Well, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the first Sonic Riders game because I think it's definitely more harmless games. Well, the second one is good, but nothing amazing though, for me though. But let's just say that both of those games, Sonic Riders and Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, are way better than Sonic 3 Riders because, you know, Kinect is required, so... Anyways, whenever we go in here, as you can see, this place might be familiar to you, doesn't it? Because basically, now we can able to actually use the bombs to able to actually open up those cracked walls, so that way we can able to actually see some secrecy in here. Well, to be more specifically, quite a few pots, in addition to some restocked items, in addition to a few more rupees to able to actually just to get some. So, either way though, I think we've almost at 1,000 again, but let's not get our hopes for ourselves. And also, if you try to use the Pegasus shoes onto that particular cracked wall, you can able to actually do an alternative way for doing that way. So because of that though, I always love doing that, especially noticeable, it's pretty satisfying if you're able to actually accomplish certain things like this, so... Anywho though, so yeah, that's how I've managed able to actually finally got every single Sonic games from the OG Xbox, or to be more specifically, the original Xbox. So yeah, it's just only like 4 games they actually obviously obtained, so yeah, I'm very pleased about that, especially for a die-hard Sonic fan. Oh, and something's worth mentioning though, is the fact that I did somehow manage to able to update my PS2 games recently, and that is the fact that unfortunately I no longer have Sega Superstars on the iToy camera, mainly because it might not be suitable when it comes to playing it upstairs. But I still have the game, but currently it's in downstairs, so that's why I've decided able to switch things up a bit. And unfortunately though, I no longer have Rayman Revolution, in this case Rayman 2 The Great Escape, on the PlayStation 2. This is mainly because I think to me though, the Dreamcast version is more superior version to me though. So because of that though, I'm pretty much going to be now stick with the forms of 3 versions as opposed to 4 versions of Rayman 2 The Great Escape. So yeah, it might be something worth knowing for, and plus I found that the voice actor, or the voice acting on the PS2 version of Rayman Revolution feels a bit, I don't know, laughable to me though, compared to actually really good voice acting on the PlayStation 1 version, but nothing compared to the forms of the Rayman language and stuff like that on multiple versions of the game, ranging from, you know, the Dreamcast version, the superior one, and also well, the 3DS version, which is based off of the Dreamcast version, so yeah, I might be biased when it comes to that. So, and as you can tell, we ended up in this particular cavern, which, if we continue exploring for this place, and while we're trying to get out of this place, I think the next area we need to head on to right now is Death Mountain. So yeah, remember the Death Mountain location from the likes of the original Legend of Zelda game? well, we got to explore there again, except now this is in 16-bit. So, and I don't like the fact that we need to keep on, like, wandering around in this dark room. Especially, it's bad enough that, although it makes sense, because we obviously still stick around in the cave, but, unfortunately, though, you're out of luck for able to actually not to use, the actual lamp to able to actually lit up this place up, because there is no, lantern parts anywhere, so, anyways, I think I'm in the right track, I think. Yeah, this is the right track, so I don't know who you are, but if you are going to go up the mountain, will you take me with you? I've lost my lamp, so okay, I will, lead you away to that specific, destination, whatever you ask me to. Oh, watch your step. There are holes in the ground. Could you turn right here? Young man, are you also going to the mountain to look for the golden power? Just ahead is a mountain full of monsters. Many people have vanished in this kind of, yeah, you get the idea, looking for golden power. So, anywho though, so I think we should probably, continue things on for this point. So, yeah, I do apologize if my commentary, of the text box wasn't all that accurate though. I'm just gonna say that right now. And especially noticeable, it's bad enough that, yeah, just turn right and then basically we could, you know, go to the next part and stuff, so, yeah, we'll just skip those. And, anyway, and, another thing I want to mention about something as well, that, recently, that we actually got ourselves our new trailer for the sake of the films of a next Netflix series, which appears to be, actually, I'll get to more in a second. The missing maidens are still alive somewhere. I believe that a hero will rescue them. I'll wait for that day, and yeah, you get the idea. And I think he wants to give me something, which I want to give you this. If you wander into a magic teleporter, yeah. So basically, we've now got ourselves the magic mirror. And basically, this mirror is blue, and it's beautiful too. And this will pretty much gonna absorb us to another world. Huh, interesting. And I somehow get run over by a boulder for like no sortable reason at all. Oh jeez, this is gonna get a lot dangerous around here, especially because again, we're gonna be exploring around on Death Mountain because I think this place is gonna make me deaf or anything else to be more specific, so but we're just gonna have to pay attention to the forms of those rocks from now on and, well, hope for the best, try to able to explore the rest of Death Mountain, so. And I think during that time, I think this is where we're gonna be able to find the third palace in the game, or to be more specifically, the third dungeon in this game, so. Anywho though, and yeah, the next Netflix series is gonna be called The Cuphead Show, and if I've seen a trailer, it looks awesome, and especially it really helps about the fact that, well, alongside with the forms of the DLC for Cuphead, in this case, the Delicious Last Course DLC, is also coming, likely on, by the end of summer, and also that, well, the Cuphead show is also getting its release date as well, and it appears to be sometime this month, which is to be more specifically, the 18th of February. So I'm very curious to double check on that particular, show is all about. And let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Are you guys excited for the Cuphead show onto Netflix? Because I surely do. Despite the fact I still haven't played the game yet. Although I got some progressioning in the beginning, but good lord, this is one of the hardest games I've ever touched. But the presentation looks amazing though, still. But to be expected, so. Anyway, so from in here, that not only do we come across into those weird worm-like enemies, but also more fairies. So, yeah, I think we'll just catch one and then just try to put in the actual bottle. So just in case if we, you know, die and then revive ourselves. So, yeah, that might be something worth noting for. So, yeah, that's the very location we can able to go to. So, yeah, and also another thing as well is the fact that recently we've actually got ourselves a a new trailer just came up for the sake of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and finally, they've now finally confirmed the actual release date for the game in multi-platforms actually, for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and it's gonna come out until on April, so it's more accurately 2 months for now. So yeah, about time to able to actually get those games, or at least one of those games, finally decide to come out, because it did push back a lot of times, ranging from originally it was going to be on the very miserable year 2020, or an okay year for 2021, but it just pushes back continuously. I mean, what is this, like No Time to Die film all over again, or Top Gun Maverick, which I definitely heard of the film, but it's not my cup of tea, honestly. But I do know that Tom Cruise was actually in the actual film, so I guess that's that, I suppose. So, anywho though, aside from the forms of other stuff worth mentioning for, oh yes, I would like to mention that, thank God, I've now finally able to actually got myself Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC returned on my PS4 now, so I'm very happy that I've managed to got that back. So I think every single portions of the PS4 or PlayStation stuff restoration is actually fully completed. Mind you, there are a few missing exceptions, which are Mega Man compilation games and Shantae games, but it doesn't matter because I've already got those on the Switch right now. In this case though, a much more of a definitive way of playing the forms of those good old games on the go. So whilst unlike Kingdom Hearts games on the cloud version, it's been locked behind the actual internet connection, which again, I'll let Ray the Flying Squirrel will mention more about it until specifically tomorrow, because, well, it seems likely obvious that he will mention about that. A massive gripe we have for the sake of the cloud version of the Kingdom Hearts games on the Switch, because, well, it seems very obvious, and also on top of all that stuff though, we should probably stick around with the PS4 versions any day because of richer visuals and also 60 frames per second on most games. Well, mind you, one exception being 0.2 both by sleep, but that's okay because I still have the PS4 Slim. So as a result though, I was expecting to go for PS4 Pro, but didn't get a chance to get it, so oh well, no big deal. Not the end of the world, honestly. It's just a bit of a coincidence about the fact that, well, couldn't go for a higher upgrade, but oh well, no big deal. So anyway, I suppose that's pretty much as far as I can say. Oh, apart from the fact that today, for those of you who lived in the UK, that Mario Sports Mix for the Nintendo Wii came out for about 11 years ago for the UK release of the actual game. So yeah, it's like, time flies, doesn't it? Especially noticeable about the fact that, well, I remember getting the game, but unfortunately though, we have to wait until the next day. So anyway, what's up with this blue portal thing right here? Let's check it out, because I'm curious to see what that's going to lead us into. Oh god, where am I? I'm a bunny! I'm just a rabbit! Huh? Okay, kind of a strange world this is, but ladies and gentlemen, we'll present you the... I don't know what you would call this world actually, but let's talk to him. Oh, who are you? Mr. Bunny, this world is like the real world, but evil has twisted it. The golden power is what changed your shape to reflect what is in your heart and mind. I am always changing my mind, so I turned into a ball. But if you have a ball called the Moon Pearl, you can keep your original shape here. Okay, that hint right there is going to be useful, by the way, because, well, I'll explain more details about that whenever we continue proceeding for this. Yeah, I've already talked to you, I just need to talk to this particular guy with those horn right here. What do you want? Do you have something to say to me, silly bunny? I came here to get the power of gold, but now I'm a freak and I can't go back to the real world. If I only had the Moon Pearl from the Tower of Hera, I could go back to my original shape. I've got good reason to be stressed out, so back off. Shoo, shoo! Fine, be that way then, and of course I've already spoken to you, so we'll just skip all the text, and we'll just continue. So, yeah, there's nothing we can do on this particular portion, as you can see, because, well, since we are the bunny, of course, and that'll be for later. So, yeah, we can't attack enemies with, especially noticeable, we can't cut those grass and stuff, but there is a way that we can able to actually just, well, go for the exploration on this place, but, first of all, let me just, go back up. And, if we try to find that specific spot, like, let's just say, this particular spot, and basically, we need to use the magic mirror on here, and this item will allow you, assuming if you get to those correct spots, like this one, you're able to hit back onto the real world. So, and there's another piece of heart right there, just be curious. So, that's not the only reason why we ended up going back to the real world, because we ended up on the third palace, and to be more specifically, the Tower of Helia. So, guess suffice to say, I think we should probably end things off here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. That is the fact that we're going to be taking on the foes of the third dungeon in the game, Tower of Helia. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Later, fellas.